Podcasts? Do you love great Australian podcasts? Of course you do. Australians make incredible podcasts. And if you want to stay up to date with the best Australian shows, then check out Oz Podcasts. Look for us on social media and find your new favourite show from the Australian Podcast Directory on ozpodcast.com.au. That's OZPODCASTS, ozpodcast.com.au. Check it out.
If you like new stuff before anybody else, if you like to keep your finger on the pulse, if you like the future and want to be in it, keep on listening because we'll start in a minute. Techwebcast, the hosts and guests are unsurpassed. Techwebcast, because technology it moves so fast. Techwebcast, ha, stick around and you're gonna have a blast. Yeah, Techwebcast, ha, ha, Techwebcast. Let's go.
Welcome to episode 328 of the Techwebcast podcast, recorded on the 28th of March 2015. Techwebcast is recorded every Saturday at Melbourne midday time. Please rate us on iTunes and like us at facebook.com/techwebcast. Follow us on Twitter at Techwebcast. Your hosts today are Brad, Jodie, Steve, Jacob, Jen, and myself, Andrew. And we have two very special guests on the show today. The founder of Australian's shoe sensation, Shoes of Prey, Jodie Fox. And get your taste buds ready. We'll be chatting with fast food reviewer Jeff from GoJo Media on YouTube. How are you doing, Brad?
Yes, indeed. Andrew, how are you, mate? How's your week?
Yeah, I'm very well, buddy. Yeah, week's been pretty good. It's been busy. It's kind of a change of seasons in Melbourne, isn't it? It's sort of been cooling down a bit.
I love it.
It's been a lot of fun. Been a good week.
Yep, looking forward to talking to Jeff and Jodie Fox very soon, talking about fast food and shoes.
Absolutely. The fast food and shoes, do they go together very well?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe at about 11 o'clock on a Friday night they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the angle, Brad.
When you're drunk, you can throw a hamburger on your shoe.
There you go.
How's your week been, mate? What have you been up to?
Yeah, pretty good. Just as I said, my wife Christy's a bit unwell this week.
Oh, is she?
A bit sick. Yeah, it's just changing. It's just sort of the weather going from quite warm, it's cooling down a bit, and just working on a few different things. So it's been a hectic week, but Saturday's arrived and the weekend is here.
And next weekend is Easter.
It is indeed.
We won't be here next week. We're having a break. I'm having a break next week. Won't be here next week, just so you know.
No, well deserved.
Yep. So this week just gone, I got my IQ3, Andrew, as you know.
How are you finding it?
I love it. I caught up with you on Wednesday and showed you some photos of it, and the actual interface and stuff. What did you think of it when I showed you the photos? I don't mind them.
I think they're a great device. I think they've really brought the user interface up to be sort of world standard. And there's a real battle happening out there at the moment in that landscape with Netflix and Presto and Stan. You've got some really great streaming products there. So Foxtel have really brought their pricing down very aggressively. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Exactly, yeah. And IQ3 it's out now, so you can order one today, and 1 terabyte hard drive, and you can record up to 3 shows and watch another, and that all good stuff.
Absolutely. So just get down to our friends Foxtel, and they'll hook you up with a great deal.
Exactly, yeah. We've got Jacob on. Welcome, Jacob.
Thank you, Brad.
How's your week been, mate?
All right.
Anything exciting happened to you?
Nope, I've been watching Jeff's videos on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, you have. You actually the one. He told me about him.
Yes, I was.
I didn't even know Jeff existed until you told me about him. So we got Jeff on to talk about his food and videos. We also got Steve on. Welcome, Steve.
Hey. Actually, I was going to say that before food and shoes. And actually, I've got my new Nike Air. I'm showing it on the live version right now for your enjoyment. And I love these shoes, by the way.
Shoes. What color are they?
Oh, they're just like white with black accents. And talking about food's making me hungry. And, of course, fashion shoes as well.
Exactly.
I'm all for any topic. It's great.
How often do you eat fast food, Steve?
Today we did eat Domino's because there were some people working in the kitchen. I'm getting my house repaired, so they were kind of in there, and I had to, send out for something. I had to stay there since the workmen were there. I try to, limit no more, fast food to no more than once a week, or it could be a quality restaurant, a little bit more, not just fast food, but other, home cooking or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we got Jeff on. Welcome, Jeff.
Welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Good to have you on, mate. How's your week been?
Very good. Very busy. We've just come back from a trip to Tasmania, so we're trying to recover from that. It was a holiday, but anyway, we've got to recover from holidays as well.
Definitely. How was Tasmania?
It was cool, but it's a beautiful place. It's just the scenery is fantastic, and we went on a couple of boat cruises, and actually checked up my ancestry in Hobart. So I've got a couple of convicts in the family.
Interesting. Good to know. All right, we've got Jodie on. Welcome, Jodie Fox.
Hi there. Thanks for having me.
It's okay. How's your week been, Jodie?
Amazing. I've been in, my goodness, where have I been in? I started the week off in New York, and then I flew across into Australia and did some work for your Shark Tank, some filming, a few meetings, and then back on a plane. I've just gotten off the plane in LA, and here I am.
I want your job. Fly everywhere. That's
Believe
cool.
me when I say that it sounds glamorous, but I'm exhausted. That being said, I mean, it's all great stuff. So the traveling is all around the stores that we're rolling out with Nordstrom here in the US. So we just opened in Newport Beach at Fashion Island this week, and we are all shifting off to New Jersey Paramus to open over the next week. So we're opening a store every 2 weeks at the moment. So it's a big time in the business, and it's super exciting.
Is that nervous for you as well? I mean, obviously as a founder, and you've built up Shoes of Prey to the company it is now, it must be, such a wonderful release, but also such a nervous time as well, opening up stores in the US and seeing if that brand translates over to those consumers.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things. So, I mean, I think that the end of 2014 was kind of the moment where all of the threads of the business really came together for the first time properly. So we opened our own factories. We had understood that offline retail was a really good customer acquisition point for us. We'd understood our communication and technology so much better and gotten it to a really strong point. And so it's for the first time that we had all of those levers sitting in the right spot to come together and perform properly. So that's kind of what we're executing on this year. But you are right. Going into offline retail in the US is a big bet. And I mean, it's kind of something that it's obviously something we believe will work, and we're sort of entering into in a way that is staggered. But nonetheless, it's a little bit of see what happens, but also too, I think we've put enough research in, and we're executing and sort of making little shifts as we need to closely enough that I don't think that it will be I don't think it'll go too badly if it does go badly.
So Jodie, did you hear about the bad fire yesterday in San Francisco? Or
the fire in
New York.
In New York. It was in the East Village in New York.
Yeah.
On that, I think it was on St. Mark's and 7th on 2nd Avenue. So, I did see that happened. I think it was sparked by a gas leak in one of the buildings they were doing work on. So, awful tragedy to have occurred. And frightening because that's an area that I'm looking at living in. And
Get the fire out of the way now before you're there.
I'm very glad to hear that there were no fatalities. I think they report 19 people injured.
Yeah.
So
unbelievable how people cover it and stuff. They're on Meerkat, and they're on the new Twitter app streaming it and stuff. And unbelievable how you can watch things these days.
Yeah, it is. It's extraordinary. And just being able to caution other people about who might have otherwise been going to that area and run into trouble and things like that. Getting in contact with friends and family to help make sure all the right support is there. So, it's all of that stuff can really be put to good use in those situations.
Yeah, definitely. And welcome to Jennifer.
Hi, thank you. I'm sorry that I am a couple of minutes late for the show. Thanks for waiting for me.
That's okay, Jennifer. We'll hold you back 5 minutes at the end.
I'll be here. I'll
All right,
accept that detention.
Let's jump into some news then, Andrew, and then we'll get to Jodie. So here's the news, and for Jennifer to read. Here we go.
tonight. This first story is coming from businessinsider.com.au, and it's about Netflix CEO Reed Hastings on the NBN, piracy, and launching in Australia. So if you haven't heard yet, Netflix has launched in Australia, and Reed Hastings is the brain behind the brains of Netflix, and he's the one who started it way back when, and now he has brought it to your wonderful country. Business Insider sat down with Hastings and asked why they are now launching in Australia. And here's what he has to say. So this piece is called the Broken Billionaire, and the PR person is saying, we have to take you to read now. I'm not going to read this whole story word by word verbatim, but in short, what Reed says is he's all about doing things that he shouldn't be doing. In his official headshot here in the shot, it says that it looks like he's a bit of a child, and it's quite a cute picture, actually. So Netflix did launch in Australia, and the first question was, why now? And back in 2013, Netflix flogged the rights to House of Cards, its flagship original, and Foxtel has that. So why didn't the service just throw caution to the wind and launch in Australia back then? And they said it was a matter of fiber connectivity and decent data caps. And that is why they didn't launch 3 to 5 years ago. So back then, the National Broadband Network was still a pipe dream. And he says, we've been watching the Australian market for a number of years. 5 years ago, most of the residential plans had fairly low data caps, and you can take Big Pond with Telstra, and data was exempted, and others wasn't. It wasn't so pretty and cozy. And Telstra, and I'm searching for a better word than dominated, he laughed, was a powerful market player there. Australia has since raised its data caps, but Hastings would rather see them abolished than raised again. Instead, he wants ISPs to sell speed rather than caps. And he says, there's no reason for data caps. We want to make the internet unmetered, period. The cap model is adequated, and we want to make it all about speed. 10 millibytes per second, megabits per second, I'm sorry. Well, I made up a word there. Will cost more than 1 megabyte per second, and 50 megabytes per second will cost more than 10, and that makes sense. Historically, there's so little content in Australia that many users went over the international links, and those are pretty expensive. But now there's more and more content, and that is reaching in Australia. All right, let me move on to the next story. This is about Amazon Cloud. The Amazon Cloud Drive now includes unlimited cloud storage plans. Amazon announced on Thursday that 2 unlimited cloud storage plans for Amazon Cloud Drive that will enable users to store an endless amount of photos, videos, movies, music, and files. Amazon users can choose from either the unlimited photos plan for $11.99 per year, or the unlimited everything plan for only $60 per year, with a free 3-month trial available for each plan for customers to try if they want to check out the service. So that's a pretty darn good service. Also in the news, coming from TheVerge.com, Periscope launched. That's Twitter's answers to Meerkat, and it is a live streaming app. It is now available. So there are so many live streaming apps right now. It seems to be all the rush and all the rage, rather. And now Twitter launched Periscope, which is pretty much like Meerkat, and they launched pretty much at the same time. So if you haven't checked it out, it is available for iPhone, and it is a free download, and you can log in and create your account with your Twitter account. So pretty simple and fun to do. And the next story is coming from thenextweb.com. It is about Google's new Data Saver extension for Chrome, and it compresses pages to save on bandwidth. Google recently launched a new Chrome browser extension that is in beta, and it reduces your data usage. It's called Data Saver, and the extension uses Google's data compression proxy service to optimize pages before sending them to your browser. It doesn't work with SSL and incognito pages at this time, and you'll need Chrome version 41 or newer to use the extension. The extension gets to work as soon as you install it. You can click the extension button on your browser toolbar to see how much data you have been saved by using this extension. The feature is also available in Chrome on Android and iOS. To enable that, just hop into Settings, tap Data Saver, and turn it on. So if you had not checked out that data service and you want to save on your data, definitely take a look at the Data Saver extension by Google. Next story is coming from TheVerge.com, and it's about Facebook Messenger. The platform is now going to let you download apps and message businesses. So F8 happened a couple of days ago, and during F8, Mark Zuckerberg unveiled the next phase in Facebook Messenger called Messenger Platform. According to Zuckerberg, the app is now an ecosystem that can be used to create and share content in line and independent of the newsfeed. So going forward, users will be able to install apps and make purchases from inside Messenger. The app's composer bar is expanded to give users access to more than 40 new apps, including ones for ESPN, the Weather Channel, Jib Jab, and Diddy, in order to enhance conversations. Apps can be installed immediately from the Messenger App Store, and content can be shared after the app is integrated from there. Developers can begin designing apps for the platform starting today. So if you have not downloaded or updated your Messenger app, definitely update it so you can get those new features. And the last news story is all about the Xbox One, coming from VentureBeat.com. Xbox One is costing gamers $250 million a year, according to an environmental group. Gaming execs join... I'm sorry, I lost my place there in the news story. So basically, if you have an Xbox One that is in instant on mode, it's likely adding a significant amount of energy consumption to your electricity bill. And this is according to the Natural Resources Defense Council Environmental Group. This is because Microsoft wants players to have the ability to turn on their Xbox One system with just their voice. The NRDC points out that each console has problems with energy consumption, but it finds that Microsoft's box is particularly wasteful in this area. An NRDC study found that these gaming systems can consume about 10 billion to 11 billion kilowatt hours annually just in the United States, which is enough to provide electricity to every home in Houston for 1 year. So that's quite a bit of energy. So if you have an Xbox One, definitely consider, I guess, turning it off. I don't know. And that's the news, Brad.
Great stuff, Jennifer. Well, appreciate doing the news each week. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry I fumbled over there. I think it's because I was a little bit late to the show. So my apologies there.
Okay. And Jennifer, how's your week been before we get to everyone else?
It has been very hectic. I'm going on vacation for a week. And so when you go on vacation for a week, you try to do 2 weeks worth of work in 1 week. So that's where I am right now. I'm a little bit on overdrive. But other than that, I'm doing all right. Thanks.
Is that for the Easter break, Jennifer?
Easter break is coming up, but I'm not celebrating Easter on this trip. I'm just going up to Vermont, helping a friend move, and then going up to Montreal for a couple of days.
Oh, sweet. Good stuff.
Yeah, it should be fun. Thank you.
Jacob Jones, just wondering why you didn't add in the Xbox One update for April.
Okay. But I can still talk about it, though.
Yeah, go ahead, mate. What's any views on them stories?
Well, I'm going to add in about the Xbox.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, mate.
I was going to talk about the update.
Go ahead.
So, from what I'm hearing, that they're going to be fixing the party chat, they're going to be adding voice chat where you could go back and forth, not just between the Xbox One. You can go through the whole Xbox ecosystem.
You can actually send voice clips, basically, on what we do on on Facebook Messenger.
Right. So it goes to the Xbox One and the Xbox 360 can talk to each other without any restrictions.
Yeah, definitely. Do you agree that Jennifer needs an Xbox One, Jacob?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Okay, so I'm confused. I thought that this functionality was there before because didn't we leave each other voice messages on the Xbox 360?
I think you can do it on the 360, but not on the Xbox One. I think they removed that. I think that function. I'm not sure.
Oh.
No, they never put it in.
On the Xbox.
Is that interesting? So now they're adding it back in.
That's what I can't work out. I don't know what they removed it.
Yeah, when Brian sent me a message, it said you would have to go on an Xbox One to listen to it.
Xbox 360, man.
That's what I meant.
So now the two platforms will be able to speak with
Yes.
one another. That's great. Good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah. Jacob, any other views in them stories, mate?
I just want to really bring that one up.
Okay, I was just wondering why you didn't add it in there. That's would have been a good story to talk about. Anyway, that's great stuff, mate. Can't wait for that update. Andrew, what about you, mate? What's your view on them stories?
Yeah, a couple of interesting ones. Obviously, particularly around the Netflix. I think that's really the big story of the week. And obviously, we've got Meerkat and Periscope, which are doing really well. And it's interesting with that one that I think the founder of Periscope said that 2 years ago, people probably weren't quite ready. The devices weren't there. The network wasn't there. The data packs weren't quite there. But we're at a time now where live video is being really heavily adopted, and I think it's a great thing. I think I have a live video app also, and we are finding that venture capital organizations who we spoke to some time ago, who wouldn't return our calls, are now getting back to us, in quick time. So I think it's a really interesting time for the future, and I think that the main question is going to be around whether or not it's a fad and we're just going to play with it for now, or whether we actually have the attention span to have an interest in watching live video. Now, Jodie, I know you're over there in LA, sitting by the pool or at a cafe or something near the hotel. I mean, if you were to do a 5-minute live video there, would anyone back home watch it or want to see what you're doing? I guess that's the question that we're going to answer ourselves in the next week, month, and year.
Yeah, good question, Andrew. I know for a fact on Meerkat, I know a lot of people get a lot of views on Meerkat, who you are, but Meerkat has taken off really popular, and I met some pretty cool people on there and stuff. And
do you guys think that Meerkat will stick around now that Periscope is out?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I agree. Meerkat just got a big update just before on iOS, and there's some.
I tend to disagree. I think Periscope's going to crush Meerkat personally.
Really?
I think it's a better product. It's a lot more slick. It's highly integrated into Twitter.
Well, I can't even use the app because it doesn't even work for me on my phone.
It doesn't work for you?
No, it doesn't, no.
You have to be only in the US or something? Or?
Oh, yeah, it doesn't work on my Wi-Fi. It doesn't work on Wi-Fi for me. But
does it work for you, Andrew?
Yeah, it works fine for me. And, I've been using it and having a play around with it. There's a number of things that it still doesn't do, but it's a really great first product.
What made you like that Periscope app over Meerkat, Andrew?
Nothing in particular. I just download and try apps and see what I like and what I don't like. And I think it's just a lot more polished as far as the user experience is concerned, which I think is the most crucial aspect of any app. And I find that, it's just a bit more polished. The text chat works a lot better with the Meerkat. When you actually do a text chat, you're using Twitter. When you're talking to people using @name, which I found with only a few conversations.
That option can be turned off now.
It can. Well, when I first used it, doing that kind of killed my Twitter. It was like 10 messages, 15 messages. And, I don't really want that. And if I'm in a text chat, I don't necessarily want something I'm talking about in a text chat to go out to my whole Twitter following.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a few little things. But as I said, to be honest, while I do prefer the Periscope app, and, myself, my company, Zafo, we've got a few things in live video as well. It's going to be a really great time moving forward for these apps, and there's other ones they like hang with. It'll be really good to see where they end up in a month and a year from now. I think if it doesn't happen now, if live video doesn't take off now, then it's probably never going to take off. And it's possible that someone like Facebook may actually just build it in, as a function or a feature and kill everyone.
So do you remember that? Sorry, Brad.
I was just going to ask Andrew. So is Zafo coming out with some new features, Andrew, or not?
We will be, yes. There'll be a number of things that we're doing. I mean, we've been around for 3 years, so in that time we've learnt a lot. We've made a lot of mistakes, and we've done a lot of things right as well. And sometimes, as they say, it's one of those things where you don't want to be bleeding edge because you bleed out. Being leading edge or being there at the right time can be really crucial.
Okay.
And we're going to try and be a part of this. It's challenging from Australia, as I'm sure Jodie is well aware. Trying to play in a US market is a difficult thing, but we've got some really good intellectual property, and we'll be pushing to market. It won't be as Zafo, but there's a few things happening on this end of the pond.
Well, check out Zafo.com and download the app and keep it on the updates for Andrew's app. So that's good. Mate. Can't wait to hear about that more coming. Let's go to Steve. What's your view on them stories, Steve?
I'm looking at them right now, and actually, I kind of want to ask Jacob about the power usage on his Xbox One, and if he uses Instant On, if he notices a difference.
I also have an Xbox One, so does Andrew. So.
Oh, you do too?
Yeah.
Okay, so how is the energy usage?
It's fine. Yeah, I just turn it off at the power each night when I go to bed, and that's it. I just turn it off.
Oh, okay. So you don't leave it the Instant On or?
No, I don't leave it on at all. No.
Oh, okay.
Do that, you'd probably just break it, wouldn't you? It just overheat.
I don't know. Well, I'm guessing it goes into some kind of standby mode.
I think it does. It goes on a standby mode and then it turns off or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Jake, does your Xbox turn off by itself, mate, or?
Yeah. If I don't have it in a particular app, it will shut off by itself.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. What about you, Andrew? What's that, Jennifer? Go ahead.
No, but aren't they saying that when it's in standby mode, it's still sucking up power because of the fact that it's listening for the keywords to activate it because it's always listening?
Yeah, probably. Well, it probably uses more than regular standby. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't use my Xbox One, but when I do, when I've finished with it, I always switch it off proper and from the wall as well, because I'm always worried about those, big chunky power adapters burning out or something like that. So for me, it's not really a problem.
Yeah, one of them, they came with the Foxel IQ3, actually, with the new power brick things.
Yep.
And we've won on. That's interesting. I'm not sure why they did that, but anyway.
Yeah, I've had some power bricks actually burn out just simply because, when they're plugged in, they're always on, and I like the ones that actually turn off when you turn the device off as well, and not all of them do that.
Yeah, exactly. Jodie Fox, what about you, Jodie? What's your view on them stories? Is Jodie still there? She left.
Yep, I am still here. Sorry, I'm just locating a power source. I'm low on batteries.
Okay.
So give me a minute and I will jump back into the conversation.
You're right. Let's go to Jeff. What about you, Jeff? What's your view on them stories, mate?
We try here to turn things off when we're not using them. I don't have Xbox, but we've got one of those government initiated systems where people just knocked on our door and said, "Do you want one of these? It's free." And when our TV, you can set it for 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, I think. Oh. When it hasn't been used, it just automatically switches everything off. So that's what we use.
Interesting. Have you got Foxtel, Jeff?
No, I don't.
What about Netflix? Have you tried out Netflix?
No, look, I'm hearing you guys talk about it. I was listening to last week's program and thought, I do have to try this out. I've got Apple TV, and we use that quite a bit.
Love the Apple TV. I use mine every day. I love it.
Yes, I find it very handy, especially for YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
And because it plugs into the TV, we've got a great big TV set, and it just looks fantastic on there. So
definitely. What size TV do you have?
What size? What, sorry?
TV do you have? What size is it? 65?
55 inch.
Oh, yeah, nice one. Good on you, mate.
Yeah,
and if you've got the Apple TV already, then the Netflix is a fantastic go-to. That's what I have. I've got the Apple TV and I've got Netflix and a couple other things, and it's just a really slick design on that device.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not one of these people who likes to have the iPad and send it to the big screen and stuff. My wife can't be bothered with that, but give her an Apple TV remote, easy to use.
Yeah, definitely. I agree, mate. I agree. As for Netflix in Australia, I've found a few things to watch in there, but nothing too exciting. I just have to wait. Give it a month or so and wait for more content to come on, really. Mm-hmm. It's pretty good, Jeff. You should check it out, mate.
I will, yeah.
I think it's like $9 a month.
Okay.
And you can sign up for free and try it for 1 month, and
Yeah, well, that's why I haven't gone into Foxtel, because of the cost. So with this bit of competition, it does seem to be bringing all the prices down. So yes, it's making it worthwhile for
definitely.
Lots more people.
I do see a lot of people leaving Foxtel for Netflix, and I'm not sure why, but me personally, I find a lot of content on Foxtel for myself,
Right.
that I like to watch, and which is not on Netflix, and I love the A&E and them sort of channels, which I enjoy to watch, and yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
Yep, good stuff. What else is there? Anything else, Jeff, you want to mention, mate?
In the tech world, I'm more into editing software and cameras and sound equipment and all that sort of stuff. So rather than iPhone apps and that area. So yeah, talk about editing software, and I'll be right up there with you.
What sort of editing computer do you have? A Mac and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I've got an iMac 7, so
nice.
Great big screen. Yeah, it's fantastic. I just love it. And use a Sony RX10 camera as well as a GoPro. And great cameras. Just makes life so much easier if you have good gear.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're not mucking around with trying to fix things up after you've actually filmed it. So
how long have you been doing the videos for, Jeff?
I've been doing YouTube since 2008.
Wow.
And before that, I was involved in a movie, and that's what got me into it. Actually, my son is in TV.
Oh wow!
And he's in TV here in Melbourne. He's a cameraman and director in the commercial networks.
What TV show does he work on?
Pretty much all the gaming shows he works on.
Really?
And a lot of the live sport.
That's all right.
So he was a director of Big Brother, the recent one that finished.
Yep.
So as much as most people probably don't watch Big Brother, I didn't, but he was one of the directors on that. So yeah, I've received a huge amount of info from him and help, obviously. But I did the behind the scenes movie, basically for feature length movie. I did all the behind the scenes on all the characters, all the actors, all the lighting, sound, etc., etc. It's just so much stuff, and that was what got me going on YouTube. All that experience doing all that, and yeah, so it just sort of led into that.
We'll come back to you in a minute, Jeff. And Jodie, are you back yet?
Oh, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back, Jodie. Do you have any views on them stories at all?
No, I mean, I guess it's interesting. I mean, the one thing that we haven't talked about is the fact that, VPNs are readily available, and there's a lot of people in Australia who've been accessing Netflix and the wonderful backlogs that exist in Chile for a long time. So I suspect there's probably a corner of the market there that isn't being taken into account with, people who are subscribing to cable TV or to Netflix now that it is officially in Australia.
Yeah, definitely. Do you use Netflix?
I sure do. It was the first thing I signed up to when I came over to the US.
Wow.
What's your favorite show at the moment?
I guess, look, I'm doing a bit of a rewatch of Mad Men. We're working with the costume designer Janie Bryant on our second collection of shoes with her. So that collaboration has kind of sparked me to kind of get back in that mood. So I've been doing that. House of Cards, of course. And look, I mean, I could go on, but Mad Men and House of Cards are probably my two go-tos at the moment.
Oh, yeah, good shows. Andrew, any questions for Jodie?
Oh, look, just on that, yeah, you're right as far as the VPN situation is concerned. Apparently 200,000 Australian subscribers to the US Netflix, which is quite a substantial number. And, one of the reasons that they ended up coming out here is because they saw that demand from those particular people. And, running a VPN can be complex sometimes, playing with IP addresses. So I think they figure if there's enough people who are willing to go through that, then it's time to come out in Australia, and it's a great service. And obviously for you, Jodie, being on a plane and in a hotel constantly, it's probably a really easy thing to go to, where you can sort of see exactly what you can pick up on the previous episode instead of having to look at what Hotel Vision is on.
Yeah, the other nice thing about it as well is being on the road. I prefer to have everything that I do sitting in the cloud. I don't want to rely upon the fact that I might be a klutz and lose my computer and lose everything with it. So, it's just yet another service that helps me to be able to do that.
No, very good. Now let's move on to Shoes of Prey. I believe you founded that in 2009. 2009. And I think I don't know if you even want me to bring this up, but one of the first marketing campaigns you did was with a younger audience through YouTube that you got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views, but didn't quite get the sales from that. But can you expand on that a little bit? And did that experience help, at least from a branding perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we started in October 2009 with my two co-founders, Michael Fox and Mike Knapp. And in fact, the idea itself, I mean, I was madly designing shoes and things like that, but I would never have thought to turn into a business idea without the two of them. So it really took the three of us to get Shoes of Prey off the ground. So that first marketing campaign happened 5 months after we started, and it was a really extraordinary experience. So we were looking for a way to access an audience on a shoestring budget, pardon the pun, and we were searching around and found this beauty YouTuber, and her name is Blair Fowler, but she's also better known online as Juicy Star 07. And the interesting thing about her was she was a 16-year-old girl doing how-to beauty videos out of her bedroom. And she was posting 3 videos a week. Each video was 10 minutes long. And the crazy thing was that she was getting more than 500,000 views for every single video that she was posting. And I mean, that's better than most top-ranking TV shows in Australia, really. So it's pretty extraordinary stuff. So we wrote this email to her to see if she'd be interested, and her Hollywood agent replied and said, sure, look, she only does positive review those, so why don't you gift her the chance to design her shoes, and if she likes them, we'll think about making a deal. And fortunately, she liked the shoes. And she posted a video, and the whole premise was to explain the experience of Shoes of Prey, and then at the end to invite people to design their own shoes and the 2 best. And then, they design the shoes, post a link in the comments section of the YouTube video and a little note on where they'd wear the shoes to, and then we'd pick the 2 best designs, and they'd win having those shoes made for them. And I don't know about you guys, but honestly, when I get asked to enter a competition, I'm like, look, just take my email address. I know that's why we're here. It's a bit more effort than that can be a problem. So I wasn't expecting a huge number of entries. But the day the video went live, up until that date, in the 5 months, we'd had 200,000 unique visits. The day the video went live, we had 500,000 visits to the website. So I thought maybe, 5,000-6,000 people would enter the competition. In fact, we had 90,000 people enter the competition.
Wow.
Is the most commented video worldwide on YouTube that day. So it went to the front page of YouTube, which meant that it garnered even higher traction amongst that audience of people who were on YouTube. And till today, it's still the 3rd most highest commented video on YouTube, How To and Style, worldwide.
Wow.
So it was really incredible, but we had this funny experience where Michael and I were, watching the analytics avidly, and we were like, oh my God, look at all this traffic. We've been wanting traffic. What do we do with traffic? And so we quickly, realized that this was an audience who liked to share. And so we made sure we had all of our sharing icons and things like that up. And we continued to watch the analytics, and we saw that, this traffic was just meteoric. It was amazing, but the sales were still flat. And, we were talking to each other about whether the reporting was broken or whether we'd screwed up. And I think that there were 2 things that we did wrong, really. And one was we completely ridiculously set our objectives so badly. And we also didn't think about who our audience was. So our objective was traffic equals sales. And there's a bit more to it than that, apparently. And the other thing was that, who do you think is watching videos of a 16-year-old put on makeup?
Yeah, it's easy in hindsight, isn't it, to sort of consider that 16-year-old girls probably want $10 or $20 shoes from the mall. But
Precisely.
At least it shows that the interest was, there in an astronomical way for, I guess, a vibrant new kind of experience for buying, which would have been really fulfilling anyway. And then it's just a case of working out. And obviously all of that now is old news, because you guys kicking ass in Australia and now ready to go over and work through in the States with some big investors, including Michael Arrington, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Well, actually, we'll just say one more thing on the YouTuber story. We did manage to make good on it. we wrote a blog post on it. It was a case study that got picked up by the Wall Street Journal. They wrote a feature story on it, and then we found our customers, and we ended up ultimately permanently tripling the business. So it did have a good ending, but it was only because we were so avidly watching the statistics and the behavior of what people were doing. In terms of kind of, they were such important learnings though, and I think, we always have more learnings than learnings, we'll call them, not failures, but look, sometimes they're failures, than successes, but that makes those successes even more extraordinary. Australia's done really well for us. I mean, it'll always be home, and it'll always be the place of our heritage, and also, that market still does incredibly well. But just given the critical mass that exists there versus the critical mass in the US and the organic interest we've had here, it is time to start focusing here.
Yeah, definitely. So, Jodie, how much are the shoes to buy in that if you want to make it? Are they just for women, or can anyone make them? Or?
Well, my best customer is a man, but we don't strictly make men's shoes,
okay,
so to speak. But we have so the average shoe is about $220. The entry price point is $130, and the most you could spend on the site would be somewhere around $400 if you added all the bells and whistles to the shoe.
That's all right.
It's all very reasonable.
So, Jennifer, would you be buying a pair of shoes soon?
I'm on the website right now playing around with this. And you know what's really funny, Jodie, is I was saying with somebody about, I don't know, I was buying some shoes a couple of months ago. And the woman that was there, she was trying on shoes also, and she had two separate feet that were different sizes. And I said, why is there not a place that we can go online and you can order a specific pair of shoes, one that's a half size smaller than the other, for these, why is this not a thing? And then lo and behold, I'm on your site and you can choose specific sizes for each foot. And I don't need that, but my mother has half size different. And, I think that's awesome. I mean, that alone, I think, is a huge selling point.
Thank
and
you.
It's just, And then also,
sorry. No, you please go ahead.
No, well, and then also the other thing is you cover a huge spectrum of sizes too, and that's a need. That's a huge need. And then the styles here, you can make anything. This is really cool. I'm blown away by your website. I'm just like, wow. I'm going to share this with my mother, my aunt, and just like every female that I know. And that's really awesome. You're welcome.
It's kind of, I mean, for us, it was about giving women access to those things. I mean, whether you're a size 2.5 or you're a size 15, if you need shoes made slightly wider, all of those things, these women are just not catered to. They're walking around in, constantly wearing their sneakers or joggers, depending on what country you're in. Or their Ugg boots, because they've never had the opportunity to get shoes that they would like. So for me, there's this really nice moment that these women can have access to now, which kind of inducts them into that female kind of innate love that we all have for what we put on our feet. So it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy. We have so much incredible feedback. We have a really beautiful community of people around Shoes of Prey, and I know that is something that really is making a difference, which is great.
Very cool name too, by the way, too, Jodie. Good name too.
Why, thank you. Thank you very much.
Love the name.
Did you know the story, or do you want to take a guess at it? Do you want to take a stab?
No, I don't. Please explain the name.
Well, I mean, I think women will probably get this, and men. This is a little insight. So when I'm looking at fashion, I'm always taking little mental snapshots of things that I love, and then I go hunting for them. So the shoes become your prey, and this is the website where you can go hunting successfully.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
That's good.
I like it.
Yeah.
So what gave you the inspiration to actually, I mean, you've got a background in law and marketing. How do you end up making shoes?
It just came from a personal need. So, I'm Sicilian by background. I spent a lot of time around beautiful shoes, but I just never loved the things that I could see. So, for me, it was about giving the opportunity to really pick the heel height, the color, to get rid of that naff decoration and have exactly what I wanted. And it started out as something I did personally. And then my girlfriends were like, this is great. Can you commission shoes for me too? And then my two co-founders were both so excited about doing something in online retail. And it was really, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have thought to turn it into a business idea. So the three of us were really critical to making this happen.
All right, good stuff, Jodie. Steve, any questions for Jodie?
Oh yeah, actually a couple of statements as well. And I mean, actually during the show, I was in your website. I was designing my own pumps, and they're going to be delivered in 4 more weeks. But anyway, I think it's great because I haven't seen really a website where you can go to every aspect and design your own shoes like this. Yeah. I haven't seen it anyway, but it's also interesting too. Is you can even after you design it, you can. Depending on the type of design, you actually, change each aspect of the color inside and out, which is I haven't really seen before. And I think somebody also mentioned that you don't do men's shoes right now, or you're going to do it in the future, maybe, or.
Well, not yet. One of the reasons why is look, often this works really well when I have a big group of people. So often I'll be speaking and there'll be 1,000 people in front of me, and I ask them, okay, if you're a man and you have more than 7 pairs of shoes, put your hand up. And maybe a third of the men in the room will put their hand up. And the next question I ask is, just leave your hand up if you would buy more shoes before those shoes wore out. And then 2/3 of that 1/3 put their hands down. So, but I ask the same question to women, every hand goes up and stays up for both questions. So if you think about that, I mean, that's just a quick and dirty kind of expression of the market research that helps me to understand that, women are the right market for us to be focusing on at the moment. And if that's not enough to convince you, women on average buy 13 pairs of shoes per year. So I think that, that's a pretty exciting market, and we will branch out into other items as well for that market. So we currently have handbags in prototype, which will be very exciting for us.
Awesome. That's exciting.
Men buy shoes because they need them. Women buy shoes because they're shiny.
What sort of shoes do you buy, Andrew? How often do you buy shoes, mate?
I probably have about 7 pairs of shoes.
Really?
And I probably buy maybe 2 pair, 3 pair a year. A couple of casual, couple pair of runners, a few pair of sort of black or brown shoes. But it's pretty much the same shoes constantly on an evolution, 1 in, 1 out, 1 in, 1 out. And, my shoes take up more room than my wife's. So she sort of looks at the shoe rack, and I've only got so much space anyway. So.
Yeah, that's funny. It's been interesting though. I mean, it's been really cool seeing men's sneakers getting into that more fun kind of fashion area as well. So I think that, I mean, we're not in the game of doing joggers or sneakers, but at the moment. But I think it's been really great seeing that as a way for men to kind of express themselves in their footwear.
Yeah, definitely. Steve, what about you? Do you wear sneakers?
Yeah, I mostly wear like tennis shoes. I don't know. I used to get kind of more of the, I'm trying to like the lounger type of shoes, I guess. Yeah, I got a couple of dress pair of shoes as well, I think.
You buy a pair of Nike Air Max just the other day?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I got it right here. Unfortunately, I couldn't design it, but it is the Nike Air, I think.
Yep. Good stuff.
Yeah, Nike ID is a pretty cool program if you ever get super excited. And there's also another brand called Owl and Sundry that do men's shoes that you can design yourselves, and the quality is just extraordinary. So if you guys do get tempted, they're the 2 places I would suggest to check it out.
All right, cool. Will do, Jodie.
Jodie, got a question for you about, I think it was either last year or the year before. Brad and I caught up with Robert Scoble and had lunch in Melbourne, and he said he'd just come back from your office there and told us what a wonderful time he'd had. Can you elaborate on the experience of having him come down and creating a video and so forth?
Yeah, look, I mean, we've got a bit of a history with Rob and Shoes of Prey. So when we did that YouTube video, we pushed the story out as far as we could, and Rob tweeted it that, hey, I thought TechCrunch could drive traffic, but damn, check this story out was something, and then he linked to our post, and we understand that's how the Wall Street journalist came across it. So for us, just that 5-second tweet from Rob Scoble really helped to set the course of our company very early on. So it was great to kind of reconnect with him and talk about what had happened over the years, and he's such a ball of energy. And extraordinary, and got great thoughts to share on the industry and where we're headed particularly in cloud. So he's a wonderful man to spend time with, and I'm hoping to run into him soon while I'm over here.
All right, Jeff, any questions for Jodie?
No questions, but I was very impressed to hear about the half-size shoes, like the option for left and right foot, because I have that problem, and it's always an issue when I go to buy work boots, and that's what I generally buy each year. Work boots is just hopeless. You buy one size and that's it, and it's always an issue. I pull up so it says no shoelaces. So my left foot is always hard to get on, or left shoe. Yeah.
Well, actually, a solution for that, you should go to Nordstrom and have a look at their men's shoes there, because I think they do like intentional mismatch sizes for people.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure they deliver to Australia now. I'm not entirely sure, but it would be worth checking out to see just in case.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, I generally am just a one or two pair a year, but I do get through the work boots, so they've always been an issue for me, so there you go.
All right, good stuff. So, Jodie, where can they get hold of you if they want to ask you any more questions about your website and stuff?
My goodness. Well, you can catch me on Twitter, and my handle is just Jodie Fox, so JodieFox. You can catch me on Instagram, which is Jodie Ann Fox, which is JodieAnneFox. And if you're looking for Shoes of Prey on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, pretty much anywhere, the handle is always Shoes of Prey, and that's PREY.
Good stuff, Jodie. Appreciate your time being on. Thanks for being on.
Not at all. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Do you want to hang around, or do you need to go?
I think I will log off because I think the situation here by the pool is about to get noisy.
Thanks again, Jodie. Really appreciate you being on the show, and
Thanks,
great to hear about Shoes of Prey and their expansion into the USA. So for our US listeners, jump online, shoesofprey.com, and check it out and get involved.
Yep, definitely. Enjoy the water.
Shall do. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jodie.
Andrew, we love fast food, mate.
We do love fast food, sometimes a little bit too much. Jeff, talk to us. You are a fast food review person. How does that work, and how do you get into that? Do you walk into a McDonald's one day and write down notes on what's good or bad?
Well, look, it actually all happened on YouTube. I've been a long-time friend on YouTube with Ken Domick, who you may have heard of. He runs KBD Productions TV in Canada. And I was a friend with him on YouTube way before he got into fast food. And we used to do toing and froing backwards and forth on our own videos way back whenever that was, 2008 and 2009, about how do my graphics look? How does this view of Melbourne look? So I used to do a lot of touristy type videos. And he did similar sort of stuff in Canada, and we just helped each other out basically. And then he branched into the whole fast food thing, and he asked me the question, so what sort of fast food are you eating out there in Australia, Jeff? And that's how it started. So yeah, we've been doing this. He obviously a lot more than me because he's gone absolutely mega now on YouTube. And I've sort of tailed along, and maybe the last 12 months, I've started up my game and got in basically doing a very similar thing to what he has been doing. So there you go.
All right, good stuff, Jeff. Just wanted to ask, what's your favourite fast food? I just spoke over Andrew. Sorry, mate.
No, you're right.
I didn't mean to do that.
You're right, mate.
Favourite fast food, Jeff?
Favourite fast food is a difficult one. There's a lot of them. I would say more the chicken style burgers or sandwich, because Americans, you've got to remember that Americans call chicken a sandwich, and Australians call them a burger.
Exactly. Yep.
So there's always a difficulty in terms with many of these things, but usually a chicken style burger or sandwich is my favourite. And at the moment, I'd have to say the McDonald's Southwest BLT, which is their new range.
Okay.
I'm quite impressed by that, yeah.
I'll have to try that then. You recommend?
That's the one that we went into McDonald's the other day, Brad, and I ordered that burger, and they gave me a different burger. And it wasn't until I finished it and I looked at the menu, I'm like, that's not what I just ate.
Yeah, that can be an issue with fast food. You go through the drive-through and it's surprising how many times you come out with something different from what you've ordered.
Exactly. And the worst thing was it was 50 cents more expensive. The one that I got was 50 cents cheaper. So Macca's owed me 50 cents, damn it.
Okay. So Jacob, you know Jeff for a while. Jacob, you're a big fan of him and the other guy?
Yes, and Ken Domick. And I just wrote something in the chat.
Okay.
One of Ken's sayings.
What is it? Say it.
Scratch, sniff, and the rest is mine.
That's right. Yeah, very funny guy. It's great.
Yeah, yes. Go ahead, Jay. Any questions for Jeff? I know you got some questions for him, mate.
Yeah, one of them I was trying to ask you on Twitter was the one of the chicken sandwiches that you tried with the jalapenos.
Oh, yes.
I'm not like an average jalapeno eater. I just want to know what you were saying about that.
Okay. Yeah, they're a hot burger, and I'm probably a bit like you. I'm not so keen on those super hot sort of flavors that are out there, but it was okay. Fortunately, it had a good lump of chicken in it, and that helped me get it down. And yeah, I would tend to stay away from the hot versions, but I get so many requests for those style of burgers, sandwiches. They are obviously a very popular item out there, and so things with jalapenos in them, chilies. Jeff, try the ghost chili pepper. You got to get it, and you see videos on YouTube about people trying to eat those things, and they just, they're red hot type stuff. And I haven't gone down that line so far, but they're very popular requests on YouTube to do a bit of a taste test on that sort of stuff.
Okay, Jake, any more questions?
I was just going to ask, what was your favorite McFlurry? Because I saw that in your video, one of your videos.
My favorite McFlurry. Oh, the M&M one was pretty good. I like M&Ms, so yeah, I'd have to say that one. I like to do comparison videos between like Hungry Jack's, which is Burger King, Australian franchise of Burger King. So if they do something similar between the different companies and then to compare them, and M&M's was one of those. Hungry Jack's had the same sort of deal, and it's just surprising to see what is out there that is the same product basically, but presented in a completely different way, and usually the price is just totally different as well. So, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. If you go to Hungry Jack's, often things are way cheaper than if you go to McDonald's, and it's pretty much the same thing.
I personally, I rather Hungry Jack's over McDonald's.
Yes, yeah, I think they're a better burger myself. Am I allowed to say that live?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Jeff, do you ever get into like not just the Hungry Jack's and the Burger King or McDonald's or whatever? Do you ever sort of get a little bit more upscale and sort of review a $16 hamburger at the pub, or is it just strictly the fast food?
I went to Grilled. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Very too familiar, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was super impressed with them, and I'll be going back. They've got a burger called the Melbourne Burger, and you're getting up to $11, $12 for the burger when you go there. But the price does make a difference, and it is a far superior meal that you're having. Obviously, better quality meat, but also just everything—the bun, the salad that they put in, the lettuce. It's just everything's upgraded, and it does cost.
Yeah, it's fantastic though. I've been to Grilled a number of times, and as you said, it is a more premium price, but it's the old saying: if you get what you paid for, you do get a fresh premium product, and the chips have got the spice on it. It's a great little place.
So you recommend Grilled, do you, Jeff?
I do, yes.
I'm going there on Wednesday. I'm going there this week then. I'm going to go.
Have you been there before, bro?
No, I haven't, mate. I haven't been.
Okay.
I haven't been.
I think you'll like it. They have good variety.
Okay.
But not over the top. That's actually an issue that I find with places like McDonald's. The variety, they throw out a huge amount of variety, but when you look at the difference between the burgers, it's actually not that much. And I reckon they'd be better off cutting down on the variety and making the quality better. So that's just an opinion I have.
Exactly. The place that we went to a while back, Andrew, in the city, there's a pub there we went to. Remember we got a steak burger or something? Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
That meat was very red.
It was. Sometimes they'll serve it, rare meat. You've sometimes got to specify. But with the variety, it's interesting you mentioned that, Jeff. My experienced user design guy, he's got a real thing about too much variety. If he goes somewhere and there's 15 burgers on the menu, he said he'll invariably order one of them and spend the next hour and a half wishing he'd ordered another one. Whereas there's a particular place he goes to and there's 3 burgers. You can choose the vegetarian, the chicken, or the beef burger. And he said whenever he goes there with his friends, which one do you want? You choose it and you're done. There's no remorse of, oh, I should have got the Hawaiian with the chili pepper, or it's just very simple. Sometimes we have too much variety, I think, for what we actually need.
Yeah, I think so. And it just gets very confusing. The three latest burgers from McDonald's here in Australia, the three latest chicken burgers, the variety, like two of them, the Southwest BLT and the Chicken Bacon Deluxe, there's so little difference between them. I think it's just quite crazy that they have called them two separate things when all they do is just change the sauce slightly and take out the tortilla chip. For the Chicken Bacon Deluxe, there's no chip in it.
So if you order it incorrectly, the guy behind the thing just eats the chip out of it and says, "Here you are."
Exactly, and it's just. I think that's crazy that they've done that. But anyway, I'm actually going to say that in my next video, which I've already done, but I haven't got it up yet.
So Jennifer, do you have any questions for Jeff?
I am actually quite curious. Well, just I'm a vegan, so I don't eat any of this. But I live here in the United States, and I have not heard of Red Rooster or Oporto, and I'm reading about that. What are those? Are those restaurants in Australia, or?
They're basically the same as any fast food outlet. With like Red Rooster is just set up just like a McDonald's restaurant, so you've got drive-through or sit-in, but it's all based around chicken, obviously. And Oporto is the same. Yeah. And actually, Oporto and Red Rooster are owned by the same company. So whether their meat is actually exactly the same, usually Oporto is inside a shopping mall, and Red Rooster is obviously out on the road somewhere, so you can drive through. Yeah.
One of the benefits with Red Rooster too is you can actually get, my wife and I get it sometimes, they've got a roast chicken meal where you actually get just a fresh piece of roast chicken, so it's not fried or cooked in fat, and it comes with a potato, peas, carrot, pumpkin, and some gravy on top of that. So it's actually, while it's a fast food restaurant, I think it's like $8 or $9, but you can actually get a pretty reasonably, healthy kind of, dinner through the drive-through compared to your burger and chips.
Exactly, and I'd say generally speaking, both Oporto and Red Rooster have got a higher grade meat than the others. Yep.
Yeah, Oporto sort of fits between McDonald's and grilled, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. I agree. Red Rooster, KFC, definitely Red Rooster every day for me, I reckon. Red Rooster. And the other one that you mentioned, Jeff, Porto, whatever it's called.
Porto, yeah.
Porto, yeah. I've got the Bondi Burger, which has got a bit of chili and spice. It's a good little outlet, the Porto.
Nice.
It's Sydney.
The other good one is Nando's. They're quite good as well.
Oh, Nando's, yeah. They're good. Yep, haven't had Nando's in a long time. I should try that.
Yeah, there's a lot of choice. Now, we were talking just before we got on air about... which one was it about? In-N-Out Burger over in LA. I think I did that last year, and I think you've done that a few years back as well, Jeff.
I have been there. I've never done a YouTube video about it. Yes, but look, I loved In-N-Out, and probably for all the wrong reasons. Yes, yeah, I really enjoyed going there.
Was the food nice, Jeff? How did it taste? Did it taste different from what?
Well, it's probably more greasy. That's what I say. It's all the wrong reasons, but for whatever reason, it just tasted great, and I loved it.
Yes.
Brad and I found a burger place in Melbourne. I don't know if you've reviewed it yet, Jeff, but we would love for you to go down and see what your opinion is. Called Huxta Burger.
How do you spell that?
Huxta and then burger. They do pretty much the same burgers as In-N-Out. It's a traditional American hamburger. So you can't buy them. I've never had them anywhere else in Australia, but it's called Huxta Burger, and it's pretty much an In-N-Out burger. It's your typical US hamburger.
Okay, I'll give them a try.
They're really, really popular among the sort of early 20s and the hipsters. But what are your thoughts on the Huxta Burger, Brad?
Oh, I love it. I recommend it. It's really nice. Love it. And the price, Andrew, what do you think of the price? Is it a good price?
Look, it's more expensive than McDonald's again, but it's sort of only probably a few dollars more. It's probably not as expensive as grilled, and it's probably not as good for you as a grilled burger, which claims to be the healthy burger, which I think it is.
What do you recommend over the Huxtable burger and grilled, Andrew? Which one do you recommend?
Oh, gee, that's a good question. I mean, at grilled, I get the one with the pineapple, and Huxta burger, I think they've got the normal burger, but you can get the double patty, which I've had, which is a pretty filling meal. But there was one actually near the office in the city that you and I used to frequent from time to time, Brad. But there's so many options these days. And one thing we were also talking about before we were on air is just, and you were talking about this as well, Jeff, about around the responsibility of fast food. You know, it's not something you want to eat every day, but it's good to do. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good as an option to, you know, for a quick and easy meal that you might need to grab on the run. But yeah, not for 7 days a week, or you know, not even 5 days a week.
Yeah, exactly. It's if you feel like a burger, go and get one. But as long as you're not sort of doing it every second night, you're probably okay.
But I will be going to Grilled this weekend. So if you want to meet up and try it, and let me know, I'll be going there.
Maybe a good idea, and might have to catch up with Jeff down at Huckster Burger at some point.
Jeff,
that'd be great.
That'd be cool.
There's one thing I would really like to add about what I do on YouTube, and that is I don't do the chips nor the drinks. Okay. I only do the burgers. And I think if people actually treated fast food like that, they'd be better off. Stay away from all those deep-fried, high-carbohydrate chips or fries, whatever you want to call them, and then the very sweet drinks, your Cokes, your Pepsis, whatever else. So I stay away from all that stuff, and I just do the burgers or the sandwich, and I think it's a much healthier way to treat fast food.
You probably get rid of half of the bad intake. And I mean, a dietitian friend once said to me a while ago, you know, when you eat fast food, you've got the sugar from the drink, you know, you've got the salt from the chips, and then the fat from the burger. So it's basically playing to your three weak points as far as, you know, diet and taste and the tongue is concerned. So they've got this thing down pat.
That's right. Yes, and I think if people treated fast food in that kind of a way where they limited themselves to just that main section of the meal, they'd actually see fast food in a different light. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
Stuff, Jeff. Steve, any questions?
Yeah, I got one question. Now, actually, Brad and Andrew may know this as well. There's some like international restaurants, you know, McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. Often they'll have like regional favorites. Like if in Japan, in McDonald's, you might have something like McSushi or something. I mean, so what would be a typical Australian-based meal based on like McDonald's or one of the national chains, international?
Yeah, well, McDonald's have got a burger called the McOz, which is probably the most typical Australian type of a burger, and basically all they do is put beetroot in it. So I've done a few reviews of the different range of the McOz and also the Hungry Jack's version of that, the Aussie burger. But we also can put pineapple in our burgers or sandwich. And I've had a few people say to me, Americans saying, why on earth, what's pineapple doing in a burger? Because it seems to be a very strange item for people in the US and Canada to have in a burger. So things that make it Australian are beetroot and pineapple.
What's the first ingredient you mentioned?
What was that?
Beetroot was the first one, I think.
Oh, what's that?
Beets, red beet.
Oh, beets. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we call it beetroot. Yep.
Yeah, beetroot.
Yeah, why would you put beets in? No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
I had the same conversation with Chris Voss a few weeks ago. I took a photo of a hamburger at Grilled, actually, with beetroot in it. And Chris Voss was the first person to reply, and he's gone, what the hell's beetroot doing on that burger? Welcome to Australia, mate.
Yeah.
Right, yep.
Yeah, I'll have to get the Grilled this week, mate. I'll have to try it out. So, Jake, any more questions before we wrap up, mate?
One big one.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask, how was those screens that when you went to Macca's?
Ah, okay. The touch screens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, I thought they were excellent. It does cost you more. At the moment, the range is only with the Angus beef, so you get the higher grade beef patty. So there's no chicken, there's no vegetarian burger or sandwich. So, and you have your own options. So you could have a burger with pineapple and beetroot and red onion and normal grilled onion and the whole lot all in one burger. Does make it more expensive, but I thought they were a great idea. A couple of people have voiced the problem of maybe the touch screen with kids handling them and how often are they cleaned and all that sort of stuff. But look, if so long as the staff are keeping up with that, I think that they're a good idea.
Definitely. All right, Jake, you want to mention some other couple of things? You got a shout out and a comment from Belinda.
Yes, I did. I'm going to shoot the one from Belinda.
Okay, go ahead, mate.
She was mentioning to me that Netflix Australia has 6,000 less titles than the US version.
Okay. And what else, mate? Anything you want to mention?
And you had one shout out, Brad?
Yes, that's to Mark. He's actually listening now. So hello, Mark, on Twitter. He's been a big fan of Netflix and Foxtel. He actually got an IQ3 the other day, so good on you, Mark. And I hope you're enjoying the podcast, mate. And to Belinda as well. Shout out to Belinda too. Hope you're enjoying the podcast too. Jacob, anything else you want to mention?
Well, yeah, it's just going to be a funny one.
Go ahead, mate.
Why, you know, at Hungry Jack's, it's called Storm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the McFlurry, but I'm just wondering, is it called the Storm here in at our Burger Kings, or is it just over there?
Well, I think they're definitely called a Storm here. You've got a McFlurry and a Storm, something else as well. But yes, they're available here.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So good to have you on. Good to have you on, Jeff. Appreciate your time, mate. Where can I get hold of you if they want to get ask you any more questions about what you do?
Where?
Yeah, where? On Twitter and that?
On Twitter, but mainly YouTube.
YouTube.
I'm very much YouTube based, so that's the place. Yeah, send me messages on YouTube, but I'm also, the connections are there for Twitter. Yes.
Oh, good stuff, mate. Appreciate the time. Thanks for being on.
What's the YouTube address there that they can have a look at you on, Jeff?
GoJo Media, which is GoJo Media, Jeff.
Fantastic. And as Brad just said, it's been great to have you on and talk about the bit of fast food reviewing.
No worries. Thank you.
What are you going to be reviewing next, Jeff? What's your next fast food?
The next one, which I'm working on right now, is the third of those chicken burgers from McDonald's.
Okay.
And then I'm going to be doing the new KFC range. They've got some hot ones, which I've had some. Yeah, hot zinger burgers.
Okay.
Do you ever get complimentary food from doing a review at all, or is that sort of hush-hush?
No, I wish. No, no, not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe
you
one
need
day.
to walk in with more equipment then.
Yeah, well, it's all through the drive-through because you get the drive-through experience can be quite interesting, and so it creates a bit more fun and a bit more interest. Rather than just reviewing food, you also get to review what happens with that person on the other end of the microphone.
It's quite funny sometimes with some of the people you get.
Yeah, exactly.
Have they ever asked you about what sort of equipment you have in the car and stuff, or they?
No, you can see them look though, and this sort of inquisitive look on their face, and they, roll their eyes and say, they're wondering.
Yeah, okay, all right, mate. Thanks, Jeff, for being on. Appreciate your time. What's your final view of the show, Jeff? Are you going to come back again one day?
You guys are doing a great job, and I'm so glad I found you.
Thank you.
And yes, very interesting stuff.
Good stuff, mate. Appreciate it. Andrew, what about you, mate?
Yeah, it's been fantastic to have you on, Jeff, and also Jodie Fox from shoesofprey.com. And yeah, it's been a great show. You can get a hold of me on Facebook and on Twitter as Cunning Drew, and you can download the Zarfo app if you like, or Rewind, RWND, and chat to me through there.
Yeah, definitely. You can get me on Twitter, Brad Oz on Techwebcast. We won't be here next week, Andrew, but we'll be back the following week.
Correct. It's a happy Easter for everyone next week. So enjoy Easter, spend some time with your family, eat chocolate, but not too much. And we'll see you all on the following week.
Exactly right, Andrew. And don't you eat too much chocolate either, mate.
Oh, just a little bit, Brad.
What about Miles? Does he get into...
He's never had chocolate, but we've bought him a little bunny, and next week will be his first time.
Oh, nice one. Let us know how you go with that.
Yeah, I will.
Jennifer, what about you?
I thought it was a great show, and people can find me at jenniferruggiero.com. And next week I will not be on. I will be out of town. So
I'll be here next week.
Just FYI.
So, yeah, we'll be here next week anyway. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Show.
Great.
Steve, what about you, mate?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Chatterbox_live, and I really enjoyed the show. Of course, Shoes of Prey was interesting, and his channel as well, Fast Food Tester, I guess.
GoJo Media.
Yeah, there you go.
GoJo Media. Yeah, we have to catch up one day,
Team
Jeff, and have a
Tundra.
coffee or something, mate. One day, maybe.
That would be great.
Andrew.
Make a video out of it.
Yeah, definitely. I don't really.
Maybe even a burger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What else? Jacob, what about you?
Well, I had a suggestion.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we have it here in the States. I don't know if you have it at your KFC, the Double Down.
Oh, yes.
I would that would be a good suggestion.
Yep, I did a it was an option recently, and I did a review on it already. So I'll put the link up for you.
Okay.
All right, good stuff. Do you ever review Subway, Jeff?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've done a few of them. I need to do more, but yes, they're on the list as well.
I love Subway. And
So there you go. We'll have to have you back on again, Jeff, to talk to us about some of the new things that you're reviewing.
Yeah, okay. That'd be great.
Definitely. Thanks for being on, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Andrew, Jennifer, Jacob, Jeff, Jodie, and anyone else who listens as well. Appreciate tuning in each week, and thank you to Belinda and Mark. And yeah, thanks, guys.
Ciao.
Thank you.
You lost the game, Jacob.
Techwebcast. The hosts and guests are unsurpassed. Techwebcast. Technology moves so fast. Techwebcast. Stick around and gonna have a blast. Yeah. Techwebcast. Ha, ha. Techwebcast. Big ups to Andrew, to Brad, Jodie, Steve, and Jennifer. Boom!